What's up guys, it's me AJ. I hope you are all doing well, and today I'm incredibly excited because we are going to be taking you to 3 of our favorite ramen joints here in Auckland City. Ramen is one of our ultimate comfort foods and by far one of the best culinary creations in the world. So today we're going to be starting off at Zool Zool in Mount Eden for some Paitan ramen, then heading off to Ramen Lab in Takapuna for some incredible Tonkotsu ramen, then finishing off in the CBD at Genzui for some classic Shoyu ramen. Well, I'm hungry, Yambi's hungry, I'm excited, Yambi's excited. I hope you guys are excited as well, so let's go. Alright, so welcome to our first place, Zool Zool in Mount Eden, a favorite of ours. I love the modern interior, and I also love the chalkboard details that they have going on the side. Very nice, as the ambience. We got 2 of their special ramens that they only have limited availability for. Their Paitan ramen, which is a chicken bone broth, and also their pork kimchi zoolmen. You may ask, what is a zoolmen, AG? And it's basically one of their specialties here in Zool Zool. It is a dry ramen with a broth production basically similar to a pasta sauce. I'm very excited. Let's eat.
Okay, so I got the Paitan ramen. It's hands down one of my favorite ramen bowls in Auckland. It just has like that really creamy and milky chicken broth, which I love because if you know me, I love pork tonkotsu ramen. So the ramen has your usual toppings. It has your hard-boiled egg. I wish it was soft, but you know, I respect it. And some seaweed, some bamboo, and the unique chicken chashu. It's very tender. Some noodles, some broth. Okay, wait, let's try it with the chicken. That broth is just so creamy and flavorful, but it doesn't feel heavy and it doesn't weigh you down, which I love. And the noodles that they use are slightly on the thinner side in a good way, but it still has that nice like bounciness and firmness, which is really good, and it absorbs the broth really, really well. And the most wonderful part about this place is that they encourage slurping, because when you're in Japan, slurping is a good sign. And you know, who cares about the sound that you make? It just makes the eating experience of ramen better. It makes you eat it faster, less messy, and it also cools it down more. Just the way the air, you know, does its magic, I guess.
Oh,
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Good slurp. Okay, moving on from the traditional ramens to their zoolmen. I got their pork kimchi zoolmen. I think they only have it limited availability, so you know I had to get it. So you're not gonna find any soup here, but look at that. Yeah, it's basically a nice, thick ramen broth reduction. It's so red. You can see some of the spices in there. It's got veggies and mung beans and stuff, you know, just to keep you healthy, just to keep you in watch. There's some oh, the aroma of kimchi as well is just so nice. And of course, some thin pork belly pieces, which I'm very excited about. Let's dig in. So I'm just gonna get a bit of everything, some pork belly, some kimchi, some noodles. Oh man. Oh my. Wow, that's so good. I just love the fermented, funky sourness that the kimchi provides, and the heat as well. Oh, it just works so perfectly in a dry ramen format. And those noodles are so bouncy, so oh my goodness. The salad keeps it fresh, keeps it exciting, gives it that contrast. I forgot it comes with some crispy wheat balls. Let's try it out with some of the noodles. This is so good, I don't understand. But those wheat balls are just like, and they're a bit crispy. It just provides that textural contrast to those bouncy noodles. Okay, what I love about Zool Zool as well is that they let you play a little mad scientist on your ramen as well. They have some oils that you can add to your ramen with these cute little dropper things they're just so nice. I wish I had some in the house. You know, I'm just gonna add some more chili, concocting my perfect ramen with some chili oil. Let's put some garlic in there as well. You know, I love my garlic. Oh, I feel like I'm making a magic potion of ramen goodness. All right, this is my Franken ramen. Oh, perfect. I mean, it was already spicy enough, but like, the chili just adds that extra oomph. The garlic, you know I love garlic. It's in my blood, it's in my veins. How can it go wrong? Very nice.
Oh man, Zool Zool, mwah, mwah. You could not start the day any better than this. Just two incredible ramens. The Paitan, it's very special here in Zool Zool. Definitely get it. And the pork kimchi, it is actually I've never gotten it before. I've only ever gotten like the Tonkotsu Zoolmen from here. But my goodness, our bet has paid dividends, folks. It's just such a, oh, why am I holding an empty bowl? But it's just such an incredible ramen. And yeah, that was Zool Zool for you here in the heart of Mount Eden Village. I'm so excited for what the next spot has to bring. Let's go. To Ramen Lab here in Takapuna. They specialize in Tonkotsu ramen, which, just a little ramen fact, is a ramen style that originated in the Fukuoka region of Japan, where it is known as Hakata style ramen. It is definitely me and Yami's favorite style of ramen. We just love that silky, fatty, velvety broth that's been simmering for hours. I got the Tonkotsu ramen, as you do, and Yami got a special Tonkotsu Gyokai Shoyu ramen, and she'll tell you all about that later. Cannot wait. Let's eat.
Okay, so I got the Tonkotsu Gyokai Shoyu ramen. So essentially, it has their traditional tonkotsu broth mixed in with some like of a seafood flavor. I believe it's bonito and soy sauce. So it's gonna be an umami bomb. Okay, so it has some tender chashu. I mean, just picking it up, it already breaks apart. I mean, look how soft and thin that is, and I mean, look how beautiful this egg is. Oh my goodness, that's how I like eggs in my ramen. And if you haven't noticed, my noodles compared to AG over here is a bit thicker, which I personally prefer. It has a more chewy, tender mouthfeel, which is super lovely with this thick broth. Obviously, have to start with the broth. I haven't had this in so long, and it's just so good. It's so deep and umami, and like that seafood flavor from the bonito, so it adds like that really nice like earthy seafood flavor, which I love. It's literally wow. My noodle twirl, pick it up with some broth, of course. Get a tiny, all right. So good. I just love how the noodles are a bit thick, so they have that chewiness and it absorbs the broth really well. Wow, what an experience. No other ramen has been, like, this is my favorite bowl, like in Auckland. It's just that good. I'm so jealous of Takapuna because if this was in Central, my money, it's gone.
Okay, shifting back to Tonkotsu Town, I just got their classic Tonkotsu ramen, what they specialize in. You know, it's a milky, porky broth that I love. Unlike Yambi's Tonkotsu Gyokai Shoyu ramen, my one comes with thinner noodles. I do love thinner noodles as well. You know, it just depends on my mood. I actually got some extras as well, so I got some extra chashu, just an extra slice, and an extra egg, and also spring onions, wood ear mushrooms, just to complete that experience. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Okay, firstly, the broth, as you do. Oh my goodness. Best Tonkotsu ramen broth in Auckland by far. Ramen Lab is our favorite place to have Tonkotsu ramen. I already knew that it was going to be good. I think what sets apart the Tonkotsu ramen here in Ramen Lab is the broth, because it's so light yet so packed full of that porky, fatty, velvety, collagen-y flavor. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have some of the noodles now. Oh man. Oh, that's so good as well. Unlike Yami's noodles, it's a bit thinner, so not as much bounce, but it's still lovely. Like, it soaks up all that broth really nicely. It's just a magic combo. Okay, gonna get some chashu. It's just super fall apart. You can already tell it's really fatty as well. Some noodles. Chase it with some of that broth and pork. Oh my. Oh wow. That chashu, super fall apart. It's just like a ribbon of beautiful fatty pork,
This is the perfect complement to an already porky broth. Also, the egg, it's just one of the best, honestly. The amount of gooiness and that subtle soy flavor. Oh. It's almost as good as the broth itself. That's how good it is, my goodness. Also, fun fact, if you're that much of an OG, you would know that Ramen Lab was actually the site of our very first YouTube video back when we were YouTube noobs. But man, it is so good to be back. I think the last time that we went here was that video, which was around 2 years ago. So obviously, still as good as the day that we filmed that. My goodness, some of the best tonkotsu that you'll ever have. Ramen Lab, top tier ramen, for sure. Alright, we have made it to our third and final place, the legendary Genzui Ramen here in Atrium on Elliott in the CBD. I used to go here all the time when I was at uni, and they've kept their cheap prices fairly consistent throughout the year, so you know you're gonna get some bang for your buck ramen. Genzui specializes in Shoyu ramen, which basically means it has a soy sauce base. Shoyu meaning soy sauce. It is very popular in Tokyo because I'm sure that light broth is much appreciated by the rush of the 9 to 5. As per usual, we just got 2 bowls of ramen. One is called their Genzui ramen and one is their special Shoyu ramen. I'm so excited, let's eat. So if you're watching this video fairly recently, you will notice that Genzui is right opposite the Crown Plaza quarantine facility. Literally right there, just behind me. It's fenced. I mean, yeah, it's next to a quarantine facility, but you know, it just makes that bowl a little bit more exciting, you know. I'm not gonna let that get in the way of a delicious bowl of ramen.
Okay, so to start, I got the Genzui ramen. It's basically their normal, like, shoyu-based ramen. So it has a thick slice of pork chashu, some wood ear mushroom, some naruto, look at that, some seaweed, shrimp tempura, and bamboo shoots, you know, just the typical stuff with some more. And that beautiful light broth. I mean, look at that. So obviously, you gotta taste the broth first. Like, even though the broth isn't as intense as like a tonkotsu ramen, it's still just as good, just a different take. Very beautiful and umami. And because there's also seaweed in it, there's like that very subtle seafood flavor, which I personally really, really love. So let's get some noodles. Let's do my special noodle twirl. All right. Nice and bouncy. It's thin, but absorbs that light broth quite well. You gotta chase it with that broth. What a good bite. So I'm gonna try their tempura prawn. I already kind of bit into it, but I love prawn tempura. It just adds like a nice element of crunch. I mean, obviously it's a bit soggy now because it's been sitting out, but still really, really good. Ramen has a very special place in my heart. It is the dish that really got me into food culture. Like, I was already pretty into it, like even as a kid, but just learning more about like the different styles of ramen, the different regions, and just like everything about it, it's just like, wow. Can't wait to get the tattoo, the ramen tattoo. It's coming sometime. Sorry, Mom.
No, you're grounded.
Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Alright, moving on to the final ramen of this video, their special Shoyu ramen. You know, it's got the seaweed, it's got the wood ear mushrooms, it's got that chashu, an egg, some spinach, I believe, spring onions, those noodles, same thickness as Yambi's. And what makes this Shoyu special is the broth. If you look at it, it's got some like little pieces of, I believe it's pork fat to just add that richness. I'm so excited. Broth first. Oh yeah. Let me have some more. Oh, yeah, that like, it's pretty much almost identical to Yanbi's broth, except for that, those little fat pieces. Oh my goodness, it's just so smooth and light, and those fat pieces just coat your lips really beautifully and just add that extra richness, which I really appreciate. Noodle time. Put that in the spoon. Perfect thickness, so bouncy. Oh my goodness. This is such a good, comforting bowl of ramen. It's a beautiful
carby waterfall. Chase that with some chashu. Oh yeah. You know, the chashu here is not the most tender, but it's still just a nice, very nice meaty component that I just really love. And as per usual, cannot let the remaining broth go to waste. The elixir of the gods. So good. And with that final slurp of that delicious broth, we have reached the end of our best ramen in Auckland video. Ramen is one of our ultimate comfort foods, from Zool Zool, Ramen Lab, all the way here to Genzui. All the ramen that we had were so magical, and I hope that you try it out for yourselves. And if we missed out on your favorite ramen joint, then let us know down in the comments below. We would love to hear from you, and maybe we'll include it in a future video. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching another one of our food and travel videos here in Auckland, and see you guys on the next video.